Good morning, gang. So today we are going to do like a yoga flow. Okay, so pretty much most of the moves we do are kind of linked with yoga anyway. It's basically just stretching, but we're going to move continuously through. Okay, so a couple of sequences, but just to get the body moving. As always, something like 15-20 minutes. Nothing too long. I want to keep these just as videos that you can just come back to time and time again and just do a 15-20 minute stretch after sitting at the desk all day, before a workout, after workout, whatever way you're feeling. Okay, so we'll get going. I'm just going to get my timer here so I can keep an eye. Okay. Alright, so let's start off as always in our cat-cow position. Okay. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, look down. You can bring a little side to side movement as well if you want. Just when you're kind of in a neutral position, but we'll breathe in, look up. If you want any movement, you can, but breathe out. Up, down. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, look down. One more cycle, up. Breathe out, look down. Bring some twists, left hand up. Hold the stretch. And release. Thread the needle under, shoulder to the floor. Come back, other side, reach up. Twisting, stretching, and thread the needle back under. And back. Left arm again, reach up. Thread the needle under. Back to center. Other arm, reach up. Thread the needle under. Back to center. Okay, just briefly before we go any further, plant the hands, sit back on your hunkers, stretch out your armpits, your back, head to the floor. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here before we get going. Last deep breath. Come forward. Curl your toes or uncurl your toes and up into a plank position. Okay, we're holding the plank for a second. Let's take a breath. Now let's push back. Push our hips up and back. Head down into the middle of my two arms, almost down in between my two elbows. Hips are up, I'm trying to keep my legs straight enough, okay? So it doesn't have to be totally straight. If you can't, they can be bent, but we're trying to straighten them. We can do so by kind of walking our heels to the floor, okay? We're stretching out our hamstrings, our calf. We're pushing through our hands, sending the hips up into the sky. Okay, come back to a plank. Let's lower ourselves all the way down to the floor. Uncurl your toes. Look up. Nothing mental, we're just warming up. Push up. Curl your toes. And press back up into this downward dog position again. Okay, so we're sending our hips up into the sky. Stretching out our hamstrings. Hold for one more breath. Push back. Now left foot comes forward. Okay, so we've got our left foot outside our left hand. You can come onto your fists or stay in your hands here. We're doing our lunge here, okay? Or somewhat like a lunge. We're keeping the back knee up off the floor. And we're stretching out that right hip. Okay. Now we're going to twist into it. Left hand stays, or right hand stays on the floor. Left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Holding it here. Keep that back leg stretched, up on the toes. Okay, replace. Now, foot back, high plank, hips come back. Yeah, probably feeling a bit tired on the shoulders and the legs. Back into a downward dog. Okay, walking it out, hips back. Okay, send the right foot forward. Come up on your fists if you need that extra little bit. Or if you wanted to go lower, you could go into your elbows if you needed to. But probably okay with this for now. Stretching out that back leg. Chest is up. Let's plant our left hand and send our right hand up to the sky. Probably generating a little bit of heat. That's okay. Get us nice and loose. Back down. Back up to downward dog. Stretch it out for a second. Come forward. Lower ourselves down. Chest up. We can come to our elbows here for a second. Just extending the spine here. You can nod your head yes and no while we're here. Look side to side. Okay. Back to the hands. Push back. We go back into child's pose here for a second, so sitting back in our hunkers. And while we're here, actually, let's get the left hand and let's send that under. Thread the needle. We're going to sit back in our hunkers here again. It's almost like a modified child's pose here. You can lie your weight onto it. Feel a stretch in your shoulder. Keep breathing. Swap sides, place the hands, thread the needle, lean the weight down. Okay, bring it back. Back up to our downward dog, hips back, stretching out the legs, head down, walking. Now from here, let's start walking our feet up to the front of the mat, to where our hands are. Okay? Now from here, I want you to take your hands off the ground, imagine your head is dropping towards the floor. We're stretching in a dead hang. Let our spine decompress here. Slowly, one vertebrae at a time, start coming up. Okay, while we're up at the top, two hands, let's reach them up to the sky. Hands come together, looking up. Lean back a little touch, keep our bum engaged, our core engaged. And back down. Touch your toes, if you can, or close to it. And then from here, let's come up working on that posture again. Let's come to midsection here, hands on the shins. Nice flat back, we don't want to curl, stay active, flat back, and back up to center, or up to standing, okay? Like I said, got a little bit of heat here. Let's go again, let's raise the hands up, open and up, touch the hands together, squeezing the glutes, keeping the core engaged, and breathe out, back down, touch the floor if you can, raise to center, okay? Midpoint here, keeping a good flat back, straight legs as possible. Back down a little touch and then reach up. And clasp my hands, one finger up to the roof, core engaged, glutes engaged, let's lean to the left. Okay, stretching out the side of our body here. Back to center, stretch to the right. Back to center. Okay, come down, touch the ground, back up. And now, come all the way back down, plant the hands, come back. Let's lower ourselves to a plank. Uncurl the toes, look up. Chest is up, we're loosening up a bit here. Curl the toes, push back into our downward dog. Now, if you can, we're going to send the left heel back and over behind us, okay? We're trying to, I can feel a big stretch like the left side of my abdomen here, okay? Hold it for a second, couple of seconds, and up to the center, okay? Gonna turn my back heel to the floor. I'm gonna stand up, we're gonna stay in this almost like a lunge position. I'm gonna stretch my arms out, reaching to the front of the room, reaching to the back of the room, and looking forward, okay? Now I'm gonna put my hand to my straightened out leg, and I'm gonna reach up and over with my front arm. Again, stretching that front body. Cartwheel almost forward, plant the hands, send my foot back into downward dog, back to plank, lower myself down, uncurl the toes and stretch up. Deep breath, let myself down, curl my toes, push up and back into downward dog. Lovely stuff. Big deep breath. Now let's send our right foot back and over, stretching out the side of my abs and my hip. Now bring it forward, through the gap, plant the foot, back foot, the heel turns and comes down to the floor. And I come up in my lunge. Left hand goes to the back of the room. Right hand goes to the front of the room. Actually turn that up, palm up, stretching out, reaching, looking forward. Keeping that lunge, don't come out of it. Okay, come down into that lunge. Left hand to the straight leg. Right hand reaches back and over. Feeling that stretch on my right side. Okay, cartwheel back down. Let's go through the flow again. Foot back, lower down, uncurl the toes, look up, back down, curl the toes, hips up, and back to downward dog. Let's hold it here for a couple of breaths. Okay, let's walk our hands back. This time, little fold. Let's take a seat on the mat. Okay. Legs stretched out in front. Take a little fold if you can. Okay, so if you can only come to about here, that's fine too. Straight legs, doesn't matter where you can go to. If you can keep coming down, bring the head down. Couple of deep breaths. Okay, let's get some space on the mat, so shift forward a little bit probably, lie right back, right knee, let's bring both of them in actually, both knees to your chest, just pull them up here. You're doing a good bit of back extension there, let's flex our spine here. Now, keep my right knee in, send my left leg out and forward. Pushing through the left heel, straightening the leg, squeezing the right knee in. We're going to get my left hand to my right knee. I'm going to pull my right knee across my torso towards the floor, and I'm going to stretch my right hand out the other way. So we're creating like a twist, almost like twisting a towel. So the lower half goes one side, upper half goes the other way, and I'm looking out to my right hand here. Okay, we come back to center, squeeze them both. Now stretching out the right leg, heel pushing towards the other side of the room, squeezing my left leg in. I'm going to twist my knee, my torso, my lower half to the right hand side of the room. Left arm stretches out the other way, and I'm looking towards my left hand. Okay, back to center. One little squeeze, and then let's rock our way up to seated position. Okay. Now from here, we're gonna do like a pigeon pose. Okay. There's a couple of variations of this. This is gonna get our glutes a lot and kind of works our hips as well here, just opening them up. So to start off, imagine my knee is on one side of the mat. I'm gonna have a straight line with my shin parallel to the top of my mat, and then my heel and my foot, I guess, is kind of on the other side of the mat. Okay, so that's the start position. That doesn't really change. Unless you have knee pain, you might need to bring your heel a bit closer to your bum. But let's try and keep it flat, okay? Now let's send this foot back, and imagine making an S with your legs, okay? So, zoop, zoop, and around, okay? So that's your S here, okay? Now, there's a couple of variations. People can start coming up, getting their quad right down, or their legs stretch right out. But let's keep in this S position, okay? And now, let's do the work by trying to bring my chest or my torso down and flat towards the mat, okay? So some of us are still going to be up, looking over that direction. We can't quite turn it down. But look, try and get the elbows somewhere comfortable, even on the mat. And let's try and work our way down, okay? So we're trying to close the distance pretty much of my chest to the floor, and therefore stretching out my left glute. You should be able to feel it. If you feel it, nice, and you can go further. Deep breath, lower yourself. So I can feel it in my glute there now. I'm comfortable here. If you need to go further, go further. If you need to peel back, okay? So a little few details there, but hopefully you can now feel a stretch in your left glute. Couple of deep breaths here. Start relaxing in this position. We'll hold it for longer than we have been today. Okay, let's swap it out. So we come up, put our hands behind us, swing that back leg forward, and then we can just replace. So the same setup. My shin is almost parallel to the top of my mat. My foot is in line with this side of the mat, and my heel is on the other side. Remember, we're just making an S today. Okay, we're not going for anything deeper. I mean, if you know anything deeper and it works for you, do, okay? And actually it's a Z or a 2 this direction, eh? Okay, so start letting ourselves down into the stretch. You might need to keep your elbow on this. If you had a cushion or something, you wanted to rest your elbows, good. You might even have to go on your hands. But again, we're just working on stretching this right glute, and we're just trying to do so by lowering our torso to the floor as best we can. So like I said, if it has to be a cushion or a yoga block, still feeling a great stretch. Doesn't matter, that's all that counts. Whereas I start needing to come to about here, let's just say, and I've got a nice stretch. Okay, so we're finishing up in this stretch here. Let's hold it for about 30 seconds and we'll be all done after that. Get lower as it goes, maybe. Okay, come out of it slowly. Oh, make them come up, back to center. Just take a second here to finish up. Nice stretching. So I think that was exactly 20 minutes actually, just perfect. It's probably not the best one after, let's say, a shoulder workout with all of those downward dogs, but it's a little different than we've been doing before. A little bit more flow, can build a bit of a sweat, will probably burn a few calories, yeah, if you can keep these up, great consistency. And like I always say, you don't have to do this one again and again. You can go back and find different ones that you like, and depending on the day. Sometimes I want a harder one, sometimes I want a really easy one, but I want to know that I've stretched out. But again, I say it over and over again, if you're sitting at a desk all day long, you need to be doing stretching pretty much every day. You know, arguably multiple times a day. But if you've fallen out of the habit and you've gotten back on this one, try and build it back in. You're all smashing your workouts, so this one, this is an extra that you need to stay on top of. Super important. It will help your workouts, it will help your longevity, everything else. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. See you later.